verse 349. Gathering truth from the Vinaya, from the teachings in the Sutras, let the Yogin have a clear insight into the 5 Dharmas, mind itself, and egolessness. I wasn't going to record a video today. I've not been feeling in the best of shape. I've had this mild migraine hovering around for the last few days. Nothing too severe, just that uncomfortable throbbing behind the eyes and mild feelings of nausea. And also there's this wave of desolation and despondency that occasionally engulfs me. I think it's a monthly cyclic thing. It seems to be about once a month and it lasts for a few days. So I don't know if this is connected to the migraine, but it seems to be happening at the moment. Again, though, it's not so severe. I've also been doing quite a lot of night shifts at work, so I've not been getting my sleep, perhaps. And as I record this, it's the middle of December. A lot of bugs going around. I'm not sure if I've caught something or not. And in conjunction with all of this, I've got a certain tendency in my psychological makeup to feel very sorry for myself. I'm very prone to what is known as man flu. So I thought, well, I don't even know if I've been practicing very well recently. So how can I possibly expound on this sublime teaching? I don't want to be hypocritical about this, and I don't want to be conceptual about it. I don't want to be talking about these from some kind of habit of understanding. It has to be fresh. I tend not to look at myself very often in the mirror, only for practical purposes, to shave and to comb or brush my hair when I have some. But I have to look at myself quite a lot when I'm editing these videos. And I must admit to being mildly intrigued sometimes. Sometimes I think he's a handsome looking fellow, or sometimes I think he's looking a little the worse for wear, a little bit frayed around the edges, physically, and who knows, perhaps mentally. But then, when I actually listen to these videos, and this might sound a bit strange, I'm usually surprised. I'm usually surprised in a very pleasant way by what I'm hearing. It's as if it's not coming from me. I find them quite effective at pointing me in the direction I want to be pointed in. It's as if there's something coming through here which isn't from me. And I've got this fanciful notion of a beam of light that I'm on the receiving end of. It's a beam of light which originated in a very distant galaxy. a thin beam of light. And this beam of light is a strand of hair of a cosmic Buddha that inhabits this distant galaxy, very distant galaxy. And it's a female Buddha. If we can talk about Buddhas having gender, this is a female Buddha. Because Buddhas are associated with wisdom and compassion. But what is often not brought to the attention is that this is very beautiful. The beauty of wisdom and compassion. Buddhism tends to come across as a little bit rarefied, a little bit conceptual or intellectual even. We don't often hear about the beauty of wisdom. So yes, if Buddhas have gender, then this is a female Buddha. So this is just a little bit of poetic fancy. But it's nice to be able to tune into this over and above everything else which seems to be going on. So I was saying, perhaps I shouldn't make a video today because of everything that's going on, and also because I feel I haven't been practicing. But every moment is an opportunity to practice. I should be able to make a video at any moment. But I haven't been doing any for the last few days, mainly because I've been doing so many night shifts, and I've got into the habit of doing these videos in the morning. Although I think I probably used to do them in the afternoon or in the evening. So here we are at verse 349, gathering truth from the Vinaya, from the teachings in the Sutras. Well, the Sutras are those teachings which are pointing us to awareness. They can point us to awareness, but we have this psychology. We have all this stuff that's going on. And this is what the Vinayas address. The Vinaya, in traditional terms, is the book of discipline, the books of discipline. These are all the rules that the monks must follow. And in recent verses we're looking at some rules. But really what we can understand by the Vinaya here is all these aspects of our psychology and our situation which tend to give us excuses not to practice, not to realize. There are no excuses. Well, there are excuses, but there are no valid excuses. Enlightenment practice can be practiced at any moment, no matter what the circumstances. Sometimes the more severe the better. Although that shouldn't mean that we search out such circumstances. Daily life provides us with what we need. I mentioned these night shifts that I do, and I think one of the opportunities in doing night shifts is the unconscious opens up, or our subconscious opens up. We're more sensitized to things during the night. And spiritual practice is very much about making the unconscious conscious. So night shifts are a good opportunity. That's the study of the Vinayas. Looking at our excuses for not practicing. So we practice and we look at our excuses for not practicing. This is the Sutras and the Vinayas. And this is reflected also in clear insight into the 5 Dharmas. Now we've got 3 things here. We've got the 5 Dharmas, mind itself and egolessness. The 5 Dharmas were mentioned in verse 310. So you could check back on that particular video. But I'll summarise them here. The 5 Dharmas, well, in a way, I've been putting them into practice in this video. First of all, the first 3 Dharmas are an examination of our immediate situation. And that is described here in the first 3 Dharmas as name, form and discrimination. This is our basic cognition. These are the things that we notice and get caught up in. Name applied to a particular form and given it an identity. We usually get caught up in that. But once we realise it, we get a bit of distance. So I've been naming the forms and discriminating all the reasons why I wasn't going to do a video today. This migraine has a particular name and form. These moods that sweep over me now and again, very dark moods, quite nihilistic moods. So I've been able to name them. I sense their form, I feel their form, I feel their shape, wanting to suck me in. But I can discriminate them, and in that discriminating, I can step back from them. And there's an opportunity now not to get sucked in to their reality. I was having a little chat recently with somebody about how we are living on a knife edge. Globally, we are living more and more precariously. We are living in dependence on very complex infrastructures which could collapse very easily. What would happen? What will happen when the lights go out? What will happen when we can't get fuel, water, food? Most of us live in these developed cities, towns and cities, which have got various structures, infrastructures, transport, communication, which we depend on for our food and living conditions. They could also easily collapse. And so this could easily feed into that despondency I was talking about. But no, there's no point in going there. And what can we do? We can go and live in the countryside and try and become self-sufficient. And that's great, some people can do that. But if the end comes, I'm just going to have to go with it. Nothing I can do. This is it. This is how we're living. I don't particularly want to devote my life to being self-sufficient. So I step back from all that. That's just clothing for the feelings of despondency and desolation. So step back from that. I don't go into that kind of understanding. The 4th Dharma is called right knowledge. But stepping back, rather than look at what we're stepping back from, we start to look at what we're stepping back into. And this is awareness. The fifth Dharma is suchness. Again, this might not sound very appealing, especially if you've got a certain tone which you inhabit. A certain tone which normally begins with a D. A depressive tone, a despairing tone, despondency, desolation. Which is why I was talking about the beauty of the Buddha, of the Buddhas, the beauty of awareness. So that story I gave about this hair light emanating from a distant galaxy attached to a cosmic Buddha. It's very accurate in the sense of conveying the beauty of this awareness. So these are the 5 Dharmas, moving from our existential situation, a limited perspective of it, to a liberated perspective. And the last 2 factors in this verse, mind itself and egolessness, are about working to remain established in this awareness, in suchness. The 5th Dharma is suchness. So mind itself is awareness itself. This is what we are working, are practicing at remaining established in. And we do this also by realizing the egolessness, the insubstantiality of everything that conventional reality presents to us. All the promises of conventional reality. So again, the mind itself is the Sutras, and egolessness is the practice of the Vinayas. So I think what might be fresh in today's video is, rather than being put off by the insubstantiality and the egolessness of the world and of our own personhood, our own ego identity, let's be attracted by the beauty of the teaching, by the beauty of the Buddhas, by the beauty of this very awareness.